it's all done most carefully. But motor racing is spectacular, particularly with flamboyant characters in the German and Italian teams, with the hard-driving Lancia, and that most brilliant new star of all, Felice Nazzaro, the son of a Turin coal merchant who is said to handle a car like a violin. To economize the limited fuel, cars are started at the last moment, and several are in trouble. As soon as the race is on, all thoughts of careful, economical driving are forgotten. The new formula hasn't had much effect. 2 drivers have been killed in practice on these giant lightweights. One of them, young Albert Clement. Many drivers are finding the new circuit difficult. Racing encourages new and experimental cars, but this veteran Cobrambier is in her 5th season. It is not a Mercedes year. And the Braziers now seem to be outclassed. Italy has taken the lead. It's Wagner on a Fiat, and he's overdone it. His lead was less than 7 seconds over Duré's French Lorraine Dietrich. Bablo on a Brazier is trying hard. A Renault is touched by the Brazier. Bablo has bent the front axle, but the car is drivable. It's a Lorraine Dietrich leading for France, but Lancia's Fiat is only seconds behind. Felice Nazzaro, with a gentlemanly salute, is 3rd. The speed of this car is understandable. Like several others, they're finding the detachable rims too detachable. Racing has become tougher and more professional, but it's still usually friendly. It's traditional to try and finish, even after losing 2.5 hours. With a fabulous drive on the Lorraine Dietrich, Duré still leads for France. But the pace is now telling on Lancia's Fiat. French cars are 2nd and 3rd. With only 2 laps to go, Duré's out. And first place has been taken for Italy by Felice Nazzaro on his Fiat. Felice, the winner of the Kaiser Prize, wins the French Grand Prix. The next Grand Prix is again at Dieppe and starts with a bang. Sulzer immediately takes the lead for Germany and loses it. But it's depressingly clear to the French crowd that this year the white German cars are very fast, and a Benz now leads. There's no fuel limit this year, but a minimum weight limit of just over 1 ton. The idea of the minimum weight is that heavier cars will be safer. Unfortunately, heavy cars have a strong tendency to keep moving in a straight line. The German cars are overwhelmingly successful, although even Lautenschlager on the leading Mercedes makes his mistake. Lautenschlager still has a lead of 8 minutes when he goes on to win. German cars are first, second, and third. The race is a complete German victory, and the defeat of France is hard to take. This might well be the end of the French Grand Prix, but motor racing is not dead. Brooklands, opened in 1907, gives a great impetus to British manufacturers with its opportunities for sustained high speed. Percy Lambert's Talbot is the first car to do 100 miles in the hour. Track racing is also popular in the States, where trotting tracks are used for regular meetings. One British writer refers to this as a most unsafe procedure. In Europe, it's more gentlemanly. Even if it's not quite the thing to put your passenger nearest to the accident. Amateur sport is always popular in Britain, and at Chesley Walsh, almost anyone can have a go. But it isn't just fun, and many useful lessons are learnt the hard way. Observe the stability of this car. Now compare a Leon Peugeot, a fast car with a high engine and center of gravity. These small cars, called voiturettes, are being highly developed. At first, people looked down on them, saying they should be kept for shopping and local touring. There is an air of the more cheerful British amateur racing of the day, as one of the crew dives beneath a seat, produces a magneto, and looks as if he doesn't know quite what to do next. This way of spending your time demands real enthusiasm. The sheer guts of these men is realized when we see how they try to go on racing whenever possible. Surprisingly few people are seriously hurt. However, one accident at Encore Bridge has become legend. The crew are lifted from the wreck to be taken to the mortuary. When the driver was placed on the cold slab, he is said to have risen up and indignantly demanded his motor car. By 1908, this voiturette is winning a 300-mile race in under 6 hours non-stop. Louis Delage appears too abashed by his sudden fame to thank Guillaume. Less happy is the Grand Prix story. The death of one of the great pioneers, Maurice Fournier, mars a gallant attempt to revive Grand Prix racing at Le Mans in 1911. Unluckily, only number 13, a Fiat, completes the full distance. However, Grand Prix racing is to return the following year with new giant Fiats from Italy. French Peugeots with engines of only half their size and valuable experience from their voiturette racing. The British Sunbeams are much smaller still. It's quite like old times as a giant Fiat goes into the lead round the old Dieppe circuit. There is drama again at Encore Bridge. The racing, however, is different. The smaller Peugeots are setting a new standard in road holding. While the 3-litre Sunbeams come in third, fourth and fifth. Louis Wagner's Fiat is second.